The city that went to sleep early. The first thing you notice is the light. Not the absence of it, but the quality. Softer somehow, as though the city has turned down its own brightness like a dimmer switch being gently rotated counterclockwise. The sun hasn't set yet, but already there's a feeling in the air. A quiet agreement passing between the buildings and the people and the streets themselves. Tonight, the city will sleep early. You're walking down Merchant Street when you first sense it. The bakery on the corner, usually open until 8, has its lights half dimmed already. Through the window, you can see the baker wiping down the counter with slow, deliberate movements. There's no rush in her gestures. She's not hurrying to leave. She's simply finishing, completing the day's work with the same care she began it with. The bread racks are nearly empty. Just a few loaves remain, and even these seem content to wait, their crusts golden in the fading light. The baker catches your eye and smiles. Not the bright commercial smile of someone trying to make a last sale, but something quieter. A smile of shared understanding. Yes, she seems to say it's time. You continue walking. The fruit stand 2 doors down is closing too. Old Mr. Chen is carefully stacking wooden crates, the sound of wood on wood creating a gentle rhythm. Apples, oranges, pears, each handled with respect, as if he's tucking them in for the night. He hums something under his breath, a melody you don't recognize but that feels ancient, like it's been hummed by closing shopkeepers for centuries. "Good evening," he says as you pass, and there's something in the greeting that feels like a blessing. The flower shop is already dark. Through the window, you can just make out the silhouettes of tulips and roses, still standing in their buckets. Even they seem quieter, their petals closed or closing, preparing for the night ahead. You reach the intersection where 5 streets meet, where usually the traffic light cycles through its colors with urgent insistence. But tonight even it seems gentler. The red is softer, almost rose-colored. The green has lost its harsh brightness and glows like moss in shadow. Cars slow down without impatience. Drivers wait at crosswalks with their engines idling peacefully. No one honks. No one rushes. A woman pushes a stroller across the street, and the baby inside is already asleep, one small hand visible, fingers curled. The mother's face carries that expression you see sometimes on people who are protecting something precious. Peaceful, alert, tender. She nods to you as she passes, another member of this unspoken covenant. There's something profound about watching a city choose rest. Cities aren't supposed to sleep early. They're meant to be vibrant, electric, always available. The modern world demands it. 24 hours of brightness, of availability, of constant commerce and connection. But tonight, this city has decided otherwise. Tonight, the city has remembered something older, something more fundamental. That darkness is not an enemy. That rest is not laziness. That there's a time to be awake and a time to sleep. And knowing the difference is a kind of wisdom. You think about this as you walk. About how radical this simple act is. Closing early, dimming lights, emptying streets. About how it takes courage, in a way, to be the shop owner who says no, we're done for today. Even though there might be more business to be had. To be the office worker who leaves when the work is finished, rather than staying late to prove dedication. To be the city itself that says enough, that's sufficient, now we rest. The city is putting itself to bed. You turn onto Riverside Avenue, where the shops are older, their facades painted in colors that have faded over decades into something more beautiful than they were when new. The bookstore here has been run by the same family for 3 generations. Tonight, the owner is standing outside, turning the sign from open to closed with hands that shake slightly with age. But there's no sadness in the gesture. If anything, there's satisfaction. Another day completed. Another day of stories sent home with readers. Inside, the last customer is browsing the poetry section. You can see her through the window, running her finger along the spines of books, not really looking for anything specific, just being among words before going home. The owner doesn't rush her. He simply moves to the back of the shop, turning off lights one by one, leaving only the soft glow near where she stands. After a moment, she selects a slim volume, you can't see which one, and brings it to the counter. The transaction happens in near silence. Money exchanges hands. The book is wrapped in brown paper. And then she too steps out into the gentling evening. The street lamps are coming on now, but they seem to understand tonight's mood. Their light is amber and warm, pooling on the sidewalk like honey. You can almost feel the warmth of it, though you know it's an illusion. Still, the city is good at illusions like this, at making you feel held, safe, watched over. A cat walks across the street, pausing in the middle to look at something only it can see. Its fur catches the lamplight, turns golden for a moment. Then it continues on its way, disappearing into an alley where trash cans stand like sentinels and shadows gather like fabric. You're not in a hurry either. Why would you be? The whole city is demonstrating the art of slowness tonight, and you're learning from it. Your footsteps on the pavement create their own rhythm, not the quick staccato of daytime rushing, but something slower, more deliberate. Walk, breathe, It's almost meditative. The cafe on the corner of Riverside and Oak is dimming its lights too. Through the large windows you can see the barista cleaning the espresso machine. There are only 2 customers left. A couple sitting at a corner table, their coffee cups empty, their conversation soft. They're holding hands across the table, not really talking anymore, just being together as the day winds down. The barista glances at them occasionally, but there's no impatience in her glances. She seems to understand that some things can't be rushed. Some moments need to be allowed their full duration. Eventually the couple stands. They leave money on the table, probably more than they need to. You think, the kind of tip you leave when someone has given you more than coffee, has given you space and time and atmosphere. As they leave, the barista waves. The door closes softly behind them. And then that light too begins to dim. You continue walking, down toward the river where the city opens up and you can see the sky more clearly. The clouds are turning colors now, pink and orange and gold like the inside of shells. Somewhere birds are settling into trees. You can hear them calling to each other, those last chirps and warbles that birds make before sleep. Good night, they seem to be saying. Good night, good night, good night. The river itself is quieting. During the day, it rushes and tumbles, especially here where it flows over rocks. But tonight, even the water seems to be moving more slowly, more gently. The sound of it is soothing, not the white noise of rapids, but something softer, more like a lullaby. There's a bench here, facing the water, and you sit down. The wood of the bench is still warm from the day's sun, and you can feel it through your clothes. It's a pleasant warmth, the kind that soaks into your muscles and helps them relax. You lean back, let your shoulders drop, allow yourself to simply be here, in this moment, watching the river catch the last light. The water is silver and pewter and charcoal, colors shifting as you watch. Here and there, a fish rises to the surface, creating ripples that spread outward in perfect circles. The circles overlap, intersect, create patterns that exist for just a moment before dissolving back into the general flow. It's mesmerizing watching this, the way the water is constantly moving but also somehow constant, the way it's different every second but also always itself. A duck glides past, heading toward wherever ducks go at night. Its wake creates a V-shape on the water's surface, and you watch it until the duck disappears around a bend and the ripples fade away. There's a smell here too. River smell, which is earth and water and growing things all mixed together. It's not unpleasant. It smells alive, but alive in a resting way. Alive in a way that's preparing for tomorrow's growth by being still today. From this vantage point you can see more of the city. The buildings rising up in layers, their windows beginning to glow from within. But tonight people are turning off lights room by room. You watch it happen. A living room light goes dark, then a hallway, then maybe just a bedroom lamp remains, a single point of warmth in the growing darkness. It's not sad, this darkness. It's necessary. It's the darkness of rest, of restoration. The darkness that says, "You've done enough today. You're enough. Now rest." A jogger goes by on the riverside path, but even he's moving slowly, winding down from his run. His breathing is steady, controlled. He raises a hand as he passes, another silent greeting, another acknowledgement that something special is happening tonight. You sit for a while longer, watching the sky deepen through shades of blue, azure to cobalt to navy to something approaching black but not quite there yet. The first stars are appearing, tentative at first, then with more confidence. Venus, bright and steady in the west. The first constellation, you're not sure which one, emerging like a connect-the-dots puzzle. Eventually, you stand and continue walking, following the river path until it curves back toward the residential neighborhoods. Here the houses are older, set back from the street with gardens in front. Many of them have porches, and on some of these porches lights still glow, but softly, as if the bulbs themselves have agreed to be gentler tonight. In one window, you can see a family gathering for dinner. They're sitting around a table, passing dishes, their movements unhurried. The light above their table casts a warm glow, creating a scene that looks almost painted, timeless. You can't hear what they're saying, but you can see laughter, see the gentle gestures of a meal shared at the end of the day. In another window, someone is reading to a child. The child is in bed already, tucked under blankets, and the reader, a father perhaps or an older brother, sits in a chair beside the bed, book open, lips moving. The child's eyes are heavy, starting to close, then opening again with effort, not wanting to miss the story but losing the battle against sleep. You keep walking. The streets are emptier now, but they don't feel lonely. They feel peaceful, like a room after guests have left, but while the warmth of their presence still lingers. There's a difference between emptiness and space, and tonight these streets have space. Room to breathe, room to think, room to be. You pass a small park, nothing elaborate, just a square of grass with a few trees and a playground. The swings are still, their chains occasionally clinking in a breeze you can barely feel. The slide catches the last light, turns silver. Tomorrow, children will play here again, will fill this space with shouts and laughter. But tonight the park rests. Tonight it's just grass and trees and the memory of play. Beyond the park, a church stands with its tall windows dark except for one. Probably an office where someone is finishing paperwork, closing the accounts of the day before locking up. As you watch, even that light goes out. The building settles into itself, solid and patient, ready to wait through another night. The sound of a dog barking, distant and then quiet. The sound of a car door closing, gentle. The sound of your own footsteps, steady on the pavement. You're in a neighborhood now where the houses are even older, some of them Victorian, with turrets and widows' walks and elaborate trim. In daylight, these houses can seem imposing, almost stern. But at night, especially tonight, they look protective, like grandmothers settling into their chairs, ready to watch over those who sleep within their walls. Many of these houses have gardens, and the flowers in these gardens are closing for the night. Roses folding their petals inward, daisies dropping their heads, morning glories, true to their name, already asleep in preparation for tomorrow's light. You can smell jasmine from somewhere, that sweet, heavy scent that intensifies at night. And underneath it, the smell of grass, of earth, of the day's warmth still radiating from pavement and brick. The air itself feels different at this hour. Cooler, yes, but also softer somehow. The heat of the day has dissipated, but hasn't completely disappeared. It lingers in the walls of buildings, in the sidewalks, in the very stones of the city. Walking through it is like moving through layers of temperature. Cool patches where trees provide shade even at night, warmer patches where brick walls release stored sunlight, cool again where a breeze finds its way between buildings. You pass a house where someone is playing piano. Not practicing, this isn't scales or exercises, but simply playing for the joy of it. A melody you recognize but can't name drifts through an open window. It's slow, contemplative, perfect for this hour. The player makes a mistake, pauses, repeats the phrase, gets it right. You can hear them smile through the music, that small sound of satisfaction when something difficult becomes easy. In another yard, a sprinkler has been left running. It makes its rhythmic sound as it rotates, casting a fine mist that catches the streetlight and creates tiny rainbows in the air. The grass being watered releases its scent, green and fresh. Tomorrow, someone will wake up early to turn it off, but for now, it's another voice in the city's evening song. A cat crosses your path. Perhaps the same one from before, perhaps a different one. In this light, all cats look mysterious, their eyes catching reflections, their movements fluid and purposeful. It pauses to regard you, decides you're harmless, and continues on its night rounds. You're heading home yourself now, you realize. Not because you must, but because it feels right. The city's example is infectious. If the shops can close, if the lights can dim, if the streets can empty, then you too can rest. You too can let go of the day. Your street is quiet when you reach it. A few porch lights still burning, but most houses dark or nearly so. The Jenkins place has a light on in what you know is their kitchen. Mrs. Jenkins is probably having her evening tea, that ritual she's maintained for 40 years. The Ahmed's house is completely dark except for the flickering blue glow of a television in what must be their bedroom. The Kowalski's place has lights upstairs. Probably the kids resisting bedtime, asking for just one more story, just 5 more minutes. But even these last lights will go out soon. You reach your own door, put your key in the lock. The sound of it turning is satisfying, that small mechanical click that means safety, that means home. You step inside. Your house is cool and quiet. You move through it slowly, not turning on harsh overhead lights, just lamps and those dimmed. You're not ready for full brightness. Not after the city has taught you the value of gentleness. In the kitchen you pour a glass of water. The sound of it filling the glass, the tap running. These are good sounds, domestic sounds, sounds of care. You drink slowly, standing at the sink, looking out the window at your backyard. It's mostly dark now, but you can make out the shapes of things. The garden shed, the fence, the tree where birds nest every spring. Everything is where it should be. Everything is at rest. You move through your evening routine with that same slow deliberation the baker used wiping her counter. The same care Mr. Chen used stacking his crates. Each action matters. Each action is worth doing properly, completely, with attention. You wash your face. The water is cool, refreshing. You brush your teeth. You change into comfortable clothes. The soft fabric welcoming against your skin. And then you're ready. Your bedroom is dim, lit only by a small lamp on the bedside table. The bed looks inviting, sheets smooth, pillows arranged. You turn down the covers, get in, feel the mattress adjust to your weight. The sheets cool at first and then warming. You think about the city, all of it settling in now, like a great creature curling up for sleep. The shops dark. The streets empty. The windows glowing softer and softer until they too go dark. People in beds all over the city, in houses and apartments and hotels, all participating in this nightly ritual of surrender. Because that's what sleep is, isn't it? Surrender. A letting go. An agreement to stop trying, stop doing, stop being alert. An agreement to trust that the world will continue without your vigilance, that you can close your eyes and everything will be all right. The city has made that agreement tonight. The whole city together. And so can you. You reach over and turn off the lamp. Darkness, but not complete. Your eyes adjust, and you can see the faint glow of streetlight through your curtains, can make out the shapes of furniture in your room. Everything is familiar. Everything is safe. You settle deeper into your pillow, pull the blankets up. Your breathing slows, deepens. Your thoughts begin to drift, becoming less linear, more dreamlike. Images float past. The baker's smile, the cat crossing the street, the couple holding hands in the cafe. the child listening to a story, the swings in the park, the river flowing gently. All of it softening, blurring, fading. The city is asleep now, almost completely. Just a few lights left, scattered across the darkness like stars. The essential services, the hospital, the fire station, the convenience store on Highway 9. These stay lit, stay watchful so others can rest. But even in these places, the pace is slower. The emergency room is quiet tonight. The firefighters are playing cards in their station, half hoping for no alarms, half ready if they come. The convenience store clerk is reading a magazine, glancing up occasionally at the empty parking lot. Everyone who can sleep is sleeping. And you're on the edge of it now, that border between waking and dreaming, that soft space where both exist together. You can still hear small sounds, the house settling, a distant car, your own breathing, but they're becoming part of the dream rather than interruptions to it. The city has given you permission to rest. The empty streets, the dimmed lights, the closed shops, the sleeping houses, all of it a chorus saying, "It's okay. We'll go. Rest. Tomorrow will come with its demands and noise and brightness, but tonight is for restoration. Tonight is for sleep." Your body is heavy now, sinking into the mattress. Your thoughts are fragmenting, dissolving. You try to hold on to one. Something about the river, or was it the bird calls, or the flowers closing their petals? But it slips away, unimportant, forgotten. Everything is forgotten now except the sensation of being held, being supported, being safe. The city breathes around you, all of it breathing together, in and out, slow and steady. The rhythm of sleep, the rhythm of rest. And you breathe with it. Now. Now. The darkness is complete now. Warm. Not an absence but a presence, wrapping around you like the city has spread a blanket over itself, over all its streets and houses and people. Sleep, it whispers. Sleep. And you do. You sink down into it, down into the deep peace of night, down into dreams that are nothing but gentle colors and soft sounds and the feeling of being exactly where you should be. The city is asleep. And so are you. The last thought you have before thinking stops altogether is gratitude. Gratitude for this city that knows when to rest, this city that led by example, this city that showed you it's not only okay but necessary to stop, to dim the lights, to close the door, to lie down. The city that went to sleep early and took you with it into the quiet, into the peace, into the gentle, endless dark, where nothing is required of you except to rest, where nothing is asked of you except to let go, where nothing matters except this moment, this breath, this soft surrender to sleep. And so you sleep deeply, completely, peacefully, the way the city sleeps, the way everything sleeps when it's had enough of being awake, with relief, with gratitude, with the simple, profound joy of rest. Sleep now. The city is sleeping. And so can you. So can you. So can you. Sleep. the city that remembered how to rest. It begins with the library. You notice it first because libraries are usually the last places to close, their lights burning late into the evening for students and readers and people who have nowhere else to go. But tonight, the library is dimming its lights earlier than usual. Not suddenly. Nothing about tonight is sudden. But gradually, floor by floor, section by section, as if the building itself is slowly closing its eyes. You're standing across the street watching. Through the tall windows, you can see the librarian on the second floor moving between the stacks, gently reminding the few remaining patrons that it's time. There's no urgency in her movements, no impatience. She simply touches a shoulder here, offers a kind word there. And one by one, people gather their things, books cradled carefully, bags slung over shoulders, and make their way to the stairs. Something about watching this fills you with an unexpected emotion. Not sadness exactly, but something adjacent to it. A kind of wistful recognition. How often do we get to see things end properly? How often are we allowed to witness the careful closing of a day? The deliberate choice to stop while there's still time for stopping to be a choice rather than a collapse. The library has always been a place of beginnings. People starting research projects, children discovering their first favorite books, students beginning the long journey of education. But tonight it's a place of endings too. And the endings are just as important, just as worthy of care and attention. The light in the reference section goes dark. Then the periodicals. Then the children's corner, where colorful murals of storybook characters seem to settle into sleep themselves, their painted smiles soft in the fading glow. You watch the last person leave. An elderly man in a wool coat despite the warm evening, and the librarian follows shortly after, locking the heavy wooden doors behind her. She pats the door frame twice, the way you might pat a beloved dog. Sleep well, the gesture seems to say. And you realize that's exactly what's happening. The city is going to sleep well tonight. You start walking, no particular destination in mind, just following the feeling in the air. It's like a tide going out, that gentle but inexorable pull. The city is exhaling. On Market Street, the grocery store is closing. Not the way grocery stores usually close, with employees rushing to finish their tasks and managers counting registers and customers hurrying through checkout with their last-minute purchases. Tonight, everyone is moving with a kind of measured grace. The cashier scanning items isn't rushing. The bagger is taking time to arrange things neatly, asking if the bread should go on top, if the eggs are secure. The customers in line aren't checking their watches or phones. They're simply waiting, peacefully present in the moment. You step inside just before the automatic doors, wanting to be part of this for a moment. The store smells the way grocery stores always smell, a mixture of bread and cleaning products and fresh produce, but somehow tonight these scents are more prominent, more comforting. Like the smell of home. An announcement comes over the speakers, but instead of the usual bright corporate voice, it's one of the employees speaking naturally. Hey everyone, we're going to close in about 10 minutes. Thank you so much for being here today. Drive home safely. There's no music playing. That's what's different, you realize. Usually there's background music, carefully selected to keep energy high and people shopping. But tonight the music has been turned off. In its place, just the ambient sounds of the store itself, the hum of refrigerators, the soft beep of registers, footsteps on linoleum, quiet conversations. A child is sitting in a shopping cart, head drooping onto her chest, nearly asleep. Her father is carefully selecting apples, taking his time, letting her rest. When he moves to the checkout, he lifts the cart so gently that the wheels don't squeak, and the child doesn't wake. You leave them to it and step back outside. The sun is lower now, painting the buildings in shades of amber and rust. Long shadows stretch across the street, and in these shadows, you can see the day releasing its hold. The heat is leaving the pavement. The urgency is draining from the atmosphere. Everything is becoming softer, slower, quieter. A bus stops at the corner, and only 2 people get off. The driver looks tired but content, the kind of tired that comes from a day's work done well. As the bus pulls away, you notice it's not the usual express route. It's taking the scenic way, the long way around. Even the buses, it seems, are in no hurry tonight. You turn down a side street where the shops are smaller, more specialized. An antique store with windows full of treasures from other eras. A tailor's shop where a man is still visible in the back room, working by lamplight. His needle moving in and out of fabric with practiced rhythm. He's not rushing to finish. He's simply finishing, and when he's done, he'll stop. Not before. There's a music shop here too, and as you pass, you hear someone inside playing guitar. Something soft and finger-picked, a melody that wanders without needing to arrive anywhere particular. The player makes a mistake, laughs softly at themselves, starts the passage again. The second time through, it's perfect. You pause outside the window, listening. Inside, you can see shelves lined with instruments, guitars hanging on walls, drums in the corner, a piano against the far wall. Even they seem at rest, waiting patiently for tomorrow's musicians, content to be still for now. The song ends. There's a moment of silence. Then the guitar player begins putting the instrument away, moving with the same unhurried care you've seen everywhere tonight. The guitar is wiped down, placed in its case, the case latched. Each action complete before the next one begins. You continue on. At the corner, there's a small fountain. Nothing grand, just a simple basin where water bubbles up and splashes down. During the day, children play here, tossing coins and making wishes. But now the children are gone, and the fountain has only the company of pigeons. They're settling in for the night, fluffing their feathers, tucking their heads under their wings. One by one, they stop their constant cooing and become still. The water continues its circuit, up and down, a constant rhythm that somehow contributes to the sense of slowing rather than contradicting it. It's the heartbeat of the city, you think. And tonight, even that heartbeat is slowing to a resting rate. You sit on the fountain's edge for a moment, dipping your fingers in the cool water. Feels good, refreshing. You watch the ripples spread out from where your hand breaks the surface. Watch them reach the edge of the basin and return, smaller, diminished, until they're absorbed back into the general movement of the water. There's something hypnotic about this, about watching patterns form and dissolve. It's like watching thoughts in your own mind, rising, spreading, fading. None of them permanent, all of them part of a larger flow. At the bottom of the fountain, you can see coins, copper pennies and silver dimes, glinting in what's left of the light. Each one represents a wish, a hope, a small prayer sent out into the universe by a child or an adult who allowed themselves, for just a moment, to believe in magic. The coins will stay there until someone cleans the fountain, maybe weeks from now. But the wishes they represent have already been released, already scattered into the world like dandelion seeds, to grow or not grow in whatever soil they find. Everything returns to its source eventually. Everything comes home. Across the street, a restaurant is serving its last customers of the evening. Through the window you can see them, a family of 4 parents and 2 teenage children. They're not looking at their phones. They're actually talking, leaning in to hear each other better. The waiter brings dessert, 4 plates with small portions of something chocolate. No one rushes to eat. They savor each bite, the conversation continuing between mouthfuls. The kitchen behind them is already mostly clean, you can tell. The chefs have done their work. Most of them have already gone home. Just one remains, the owner perhaps, wiping down surfaces one last time, making sure everything is as it should be. There's a satisfaction in the way he moves, the satisfaction of a job completed, a day concluded. When the family finishes, there's no hurry to bring the check. The waiter simply appears when the time is right, as if he's been waiting for them to be truly ready. Money is exchanged, goodnights are said, and the family leaves. Through the window, you see the owner flip the sign from open to closed, then turn off the overhead lights, leaving only a soft glow near the back. Another place settling in for the night. You're in the historic district now, where the buildings are older and the streets are narrower, designed for horses and carriages rather than cars. The cobblestones under your feet are uneven, worn smooth by centuries of footsteps. In daylight, this area can be touristy, crowded with people taking photos and buying souvenirs. But tonight, the tourists are gone, and the neighborhood belongs to the people who live here. An old woman is watering plants on her balcony, flowers in terracotta pots that spill over with blooms even this late in the season. She's humming something, a tune that drifts down to where you're walking. When she sees you, she waves, and you wave back. No words are needed. The wave says everything. Good evening, isn't it beautiful? Sleep well when you get home. A couple is walking ahead of you, moving slowly, their arms linked. They stop occasionally to look in shop windows, even though the shops are closed and there's nothing to buy. They're not shopping. They're simply being together, sharing the evening, letting the city's peace wash over them. You follow them for a block, then turn down a different street, this one residential. Here, the houses are set close together, their facades painted in colors that have faded to pastels, blues and pinks and yellows that look like watercolors. Flowers grow in window boxes and climb up trellises. Ivy covers entire walls, its leaves rustling softly in a breeze you can barely feel. Many windows are open, and from them drift the sounds of evening, dishes being washed, water running, a television playing quietly, voices in conversation. Normal sounds, domestic sounds, but tonight they seem sacred somehow. The small rituals of ending the day, elevated by collective participation. In one window, a woman is folding laundry. She takes each piece from the basket, shakes it out, folds it carefully, places it on a growing stack. Her movements are meditative, practiced. This is clearly something she's done thousands of times, but she doesn't seem bored or impatient. If anything, she seems content, finding peace in the repetition. In another window, someone is doing a puzzle, a landscape scene spread out on a table, hundreds of pieces waiting to find their places. The person working on it is an older man, and he's trying piece after piece, testing fits, setting aside the ones that don't work. When he finds a piece that fits, you can see the small nod of satisfaction, the tiny smile. These small joys, these quiet moments, tonight they're enough. You reach a small square where several streets converge. In the center is a tree, old and enormous, its branches spreading out like arms offering an embrace. Beneath the tree, a few benches are arranged in a circle. During the day, people sit here to eat lunch, to read, to watch the world go by. Now, only one bench is occupied. A young man with a sketchbook, drawing the buildings across the square. His hand moves steadily across the page, capturing lines and shadows. You don't disturb him. You simply find your own bench and sit, looking up at the tree. Its leaves are beginning to turn, just the faintest hint of yellow at the edges. Soon they'll fall, and the tree will sleep through winter, bare branches against gray skies. But that's later. Tonight, the tree is still full, still green, still offering shade even though the sun is nearly gone. A bird lands on a branch above you, then another, then several more. They're coming home to roost, these birds, finding their sleeping places in the tree's architecture. They call to each other softly, establishing their positions, settling their disputes. And then gradually they quiet. Wings are folded, heads are tucked. The tree becomes a dormitory, silent and safe. The light is fading faster now. The sky is that deep, rich blue that comes just after sunset, before full darkness arrives. It's a brief window this time, maybe 20 minutes, maybe less, when the world is balanced between day and night, when both exist together. You stand and continue walking, drawn onward by the city's gentle pull. The park is ahead, its gates still open but the paths inside empty. You enter, following the main walkway that curves between flower beds and lawns. The park is beautiful in daylight, but at this hour it's something else. Mysterious, enchanted. The trees become silhouettes. The flowers lose their colors and become shapes, forms, suggestions. There's a pond here, and you make your way toward it. The water is still, a perfect mirror reflecting the darkening sky. A few ducks are gathered at one edge, sleeping with their bills tucked under their wings. They float there, rocking gently, looking like small boats moored for the night. You stand at the pond's edge, looking at your own reflection. It's strange seeing yourself like this, in water rather than glass. The reflection is softer, less defined, wavering slightly even though the water is nearly still. It makes you look dreamlike, as if you're already halfway to sleep yourself. And maybe you are. The walk has made you tired in the best way. Physically weary but mentally calm. Your body is ready for rest. Your mind is quiet, its usual chatter diminished. You feel like one of those ducks, ready to tuck yourself away and let the night have its time. You leave the park and head toward home. Your street is close now, just a few more blocks. The streetlights are all on, casting their warm pools of light on the sidewalk. Between the pools, there are patches of darkness, but they're not threatening. They're just the natural result of lights and shadows, day and night, waking and sleeping existing side by side. A dog barks somewhere 3 times, then stops. A car drives by slowly, its headlights sweeping across the buildings. Somewhere a door closes with a soft click. Your neighborhood is quiet when you reach it. Most houses are dark or nearly so. The Reynolds family next door has a light on in their living room. You can see them through the sheer curtains, sitting on the couch together, watching something on TV. Mr. Chen across the street is on his porch, smoking a pipe, the sweet smell of tobacco drifting across the yard. He raises a hand in greeting, and you return the gesture. Your own house looks welcoming, its windows dark but not unfriendly. You climb the steps to your door, the wood creaking under your weight, a sound you've heard so many times it's become part of home. The key slides into the lock easily, turns smoothly. The door opens and you step into your own space. Smells like home, whatever that means. Maybe old books and coffee and the faint scent of this morning's breakfast. Maybe just familiarity, the smell of your own life, your own belongings, your own air. Whatever it is, it's comforting. You move through your evening routine without thinking, muscle memory guiding you. Shoes off by the door. Keys in the bowl on the hall table. Jacket hung in the closet. You move through the house turning on small lamps. Not bright overheads but gentle pools of light that illuminate without glaring. In the kitchen, you pour yourself a glass of water from the tap. The water is cold and clean, and you drink slowly, standing at the window, looking out at your backyard. It's mostly dark now, but you can see the outline of things. The fence, the garden shed, the vegetable patch you planted in spring and have been tending through summer. Everything in its place. Everything as it should be. You wash the glass, dry it, put it away. You check that the doors are locked, that the stove is off, that everything is secure. Not out of fear but out of care. These are the rituals of ending the day properly, of making sure tomorrow can begin from a place of order. And then you're ready for bed. Your bedroom welcomes you with its familiar arrangement. The bed against the wall, the dresser with its mirror, the chair where you drape tomorrow's clothes. You change into pajamas, soft fabric against skin that's tired of being clothed. You brush your teeth, wash your face. All the small acts of care that prepare the body for rest. The mirror shows you your own face, tired but content. There are lines there that weren't there years ago, evidence of time passing, of days lived, of expressions made thousands of times. You don't look away from them. Tonight, they seem like decorations rather than flaws, like the patina on old copper or the wear on beloved furniture. Proof of use. Proof of life. When you finally get into bed, pulling the covers up to your chin, the relief is immediate. Your body sinks into the mattress, releasing tensions you didn't know you were holding. Your muscles loosen. Your breathing deepens. You think about the city, all of it settling in now just like you. All those shops closed and locked. All those lights dimmed or extinguished. All those people in their own beds, in their own homes, participating in this same ritual of surrender. 'Cause the city showed you how. The city led by example. The library closing early, the grocery store slowing down, the restaurant serving their last meals with care rather than haste, the fountain with its sleeping pigeons, the park with its reflected sky, the tree full of roosting birds. All of it teaching the same lesson. It's okay to stop. It's not just okay, it's necessary. Good. You reach over and turn off the bedside lamp. Darkness fills the room, but your eyes are already closed. You're not looking anymore. You're just feeling the softness of the pillow, the weight of the blanket, the stillness of the air. Your mind begins to drift, thoughts becoming less distinct, more fluid. Images from the evening float by. The librarian patting the door frame, the child asleep in the shopping cart, the guitar player in the music shop, the woman folding laundry, the man working on his puzzle, the birds in the tree, your own reflection in the pond. All of it softening, all of it fading. You're falling now, not frightening but gentle, like settling into deep water. Down and down, into sleep, into rest, into the place where the day can't follow. The city is sleeping. The whole city, all of it, all at once. Shops and streets and houses and people. Trees and birds and flowers closing their petals. Water flowing quietly in the darkness. Everything at rest. And you with it. Part of the whole. Part of the great settling. Part of the city that remembered how to rest. Your breathing slows, deepens, becomes the rhythm of sleep, in and out, steady as tides, steady as heartbeats, steady as the world itself turning through space. Sleep. You're sleeping now. Deeply. Completely. The way people slept before electricity, before urgency, before the world told them that rest was wasted time. This isn't wasted time. This is the most important time. This is when the body heals, when the mind processes, when the spirit restores itself. This is when you become yourself again, ready for tomorrow. But tomorrow doesn't matter now. Now there's only this. The soft darkness, the quiet breathing, the gentle pull down into deeper sleep. The city is sleeping. And so are you. So peacefully. So completely. So deservedly. Sleep now. The city has given permission. The world has given permission. You have permission to rest, to stop, to simply be. Nothing is required of you now except to sleep. And so you do. Gratefully, peacefully, deeply. The way the city sleeps. The way everything sleeps when it knows it's safe. When it knows it's done enough. When it knows that tomorrow will come regardless. And for now, there's only the sweet, dark, gentle embrace of sleep. 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 Sleep.